Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an Object 279 early. It's the tier 10 reward tank for the personal missions. It's on the northeast spawn of Highway under the commands of Awppenheimer. And with him in this game is Twisted Rapture and also Rapturing. Okay, they're in the Object 705 and the Super Conqueror to his left at the moment. Now, after some of your recent, or some of my recent videos, I actually was requested to give more historical information or tips and tricks that you can actually use to either take down these tanks or to know where the modules are. I certainly will oblige with that sort of information. In fact, I might just switch to a page which actually will show you the modules so you can see where you can get them. As you know, the 279 was a tank that they actually made a functional prototype on. It's actually at the Kubinka Museum in Moscow, but they didn't put it into production. It was a blueprint in 1947 to 48. And the prototype was made in 1948. It's got a hull which is actually above the tracks, so it's kind of floating on 4 sets of tracks, and that makes it very difficult to hit the compartment because there's no compartment actually between the tracks. If you fire between the tracks, all you'll hit is the axles. You won't actually do any damage to the compartment. Okay, first target Superconk. He doesn't want to dive too deep in because he doesn't know. Oh, goes to the composer and he gets it 466. The Alpha's 440, penetration 258 was standard, but Awppenheimer's using liberal amounts of heat ammunition, and in fact he hasn't loaded any standard ammunition at all, except for 3 heat rounds, HE rounds rather, and the heat will actually go through 340mm, so even more pen. Makes it very deadly. Easily punches through a Rhinoceronte, but he got a low roll there, rocking backwards and forwards to make it more difficult. The Rhinoceronte is actually ignoring him. He's actually firing to the east at the moment. He's not paying any attention, but he should be paying attention to Awppenheimer. I think he suddenly realised, yeah, he's in grave danger, and now he's out the game. So we've got 3 enemy tanks just around the corner, and they are paying attention to Awppenheimer, and like they should, and that's a high roll for 472. Well, in fact, it's not just 4 tanks, there's a lot of them. Lots of enemy tanks. Oh, Heshbon. Okay. Got one into him, going for another. Yep, low roll this time, 406. The 60 TP and the others just don't seem to be engaging. And in fact, that 60 TP is almost out of health. I think he was engaging and he's trying to retreat now, but he's missing most of his hit points. 705 takes a big one, but it doesn't kill him. But he goes down the next shot, and oh, we get splattered by an Arty, the GWE100, and the Cranbarn got around into us as well. The Cranbarn was the big hitter with 464, but he does have a big gun, the 152, so not surprising. Okay, we've got a Wizzy 111 Model 58 to our right. We go after the other ones, we get shot in the side by that Wizzy, but the Wizzy's now engaged, which means Awppenheimer can push forward. Oh, ram kill there, very well done. Ram killed by the Cranbarn, and there's the Heshbon just across the road. He takes a round through the turret, exceptionally weak, and that was a kill by Rapturing on the Heshbon. We're going in for the Super Cranbarn. Oh, he couldn't get it. He was looking around for a weak spot but couldn't get it, and the Conqueror gun carriage takes the kill instead. I think the difficulty there is everywhere he was aiming was a strong point on the front of that vehicle. He wanted the side of the turret, and that's why he had to move forward quickly. Now he has taken some damage. You can see there's one round, that's the artillery round. He did take a hesh round through the sight. You can see it can be penned if you can get the right place on the vehicle. We'll show you the modules, and that might give you a clue as to why that person was aiming for the side. This tank doesn't have good under pressure. It's only got 5 degrees, so you can't really use it on a ridge line. And well, it's most hated tank on the battlefield, so it does make it an Arty target. And ooh, well, lots of damage going on. There's only one enemy left now, Object 277, and he's being ganged up on. He won't last very long. And there's a nice hit, high roll, and the kill shot goes to Twisted Rapture with an ammo rack. Well, here's the end of battle results, and that was the third-class tanker for Awppenheimer in the Object 279 early. He got a fire effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. No other minor medals, so rather curious. He did get the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game, and that was mostly because some of the tanks that he was firing at were just ignoring him when they should have been firing at him, and as a consequence, yes, they actually missed out, and he managed to get a huge amount of damage on them. He also got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, he only got 1 kill in the entire game, which contributed to getting the Confederate, and of course the fact that he was hitting as many of the enemy as he could. Win 8 for 4,400, which is super unicum level. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, on damage, you can see that he easily scored the highest on this one with 7,240. Second highest damage was the IS-7 with 3,615, and the third highest damage was the enemy Cranvan, the one he was trying to get a solution on but couldn't. Towards the end of the game, he got 3,164, and I think that was the Cranvan that was trying to retreat. At least I think it was trying to retreat. Anyway, we can also see that his teammates Rapturing managed to get 1,885, good show, and Twisted Rapture, the guy who was actually at the forefront as well, he was doing quite good. He did 3,088, and I think it was helped towards the end because I think he got the last kill, didn't he? I think that kill on 277. When it came to kills, it was Twisted Rapture who did the best. Yes, he got 3 kills in that game. 2 kills to the IS-7, the Viz-55, and only 1 kill to Awppenheimer, whereas Rapturing also got a single kill. Nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill. In fact, only 3 enemy tanks actually managed to get a kill in that game at all. And that's pretty surprising. I think they were overwhelmed. It was a tier 10 game. When it came to base XP, it's Awppenheimer with 1,129 by virtue of the fact that obviously he did the most damage in the game, but he was leading the battle from the front. 1,099 went to the IS-7, 1,066 went to Twisted Rapture, and 856 went to Rapturing. So good show by them as well. He fired 18 rounds in that game, got 17 direct hits on the enemy and 17 penetrations. I suppose you could say it was not just that he got very good accuracy on those shots, but the fact that he was using heat actually made sure that those shells actually were effective. So every shell that went in did damage, and of course that meant that he earned profit off them. 7,240 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range. Received 4 hits from the enemy, only 1 actually penetrated. That was the heat round that went through the side of the vehicle. I think it was the 705 who did that. 2 non-penetrations and 1 hit by way of splash. That was the GWE100 who managed to land a lovely shot right on the turret. But unfortunately it didn't pen, of course, but it did land on the turret. 1,150 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed. There's where he earned the Confederate. 488 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 85,791 credits from the game, 42,896 from personal reserves, 128,687 credits altogether. And yes, here's the rather large cost for ammunition because of the heat rounds. He still made a profit, 7,971 credits profit. So even after using heat ammo, because he made them count, he actually ended up positive. 7 bombs, for the game. I think that for vehicle special ability, I think in this case it's because it was tier 10. 1693 XP times 2, and he also got a bonus for this being a premium vehicle, but because it's a missions one, you don't get as much bonus as you would off one you bought. And 1693 personal reserves took away 5165 experience points altogether. I said I'd actually show you some of the modules, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but that does show their advertising as well. This is the Armour Inspector, and this is the site I used to work out, because they very kindly actually provided a module inspector so you can actually see where the modules are. And of course this gives you a clue where you need to aim, and you can see why that 705 aimed around about here on the cheeks. He was going for the Amarak, because you can see that yellow there, the Amarak. The driver, he's there. There's the loader, and you can see there's another Amarak directly behind him if I turn the turret. So again, that's another place you should aim, directly behind the turret if you can, because of course turret's weaker at the rear. On this side we can see the gunner sitting here in his seat, and just behind him is the commander. So if you can get around to penetrate through here, you will actually get possibly 2 members of the crew, the gunner and the commander. But if you're going for the cupola, you can see you've only got a narrow slit here to actually get, but that will get the commander if you hit that one there. And there's the radio sitting right next door to him. If you want to hit the engine, it's that big red thing at the back. So yes, that's why you want to aim for the back there. And those are the fuel tanks on the side, the orange things. So I think if you use Armour Inspector, they don't have models for every vehicle, but they do have most of them in there. And therefore it's very useful to actually go here to this channel and actually find out about the tanks you're going to come up against, because if you can learn where the modules are, you can put the rounds in. You might actually get an Amarak or a fire, or disable their engine if you know where to put the shells. So obviously if you're looking to disable the engine on this tank and you're shooting from a distance, you want to aim for this little back bit here, not for the fuel tanks. It'd be nice to actually hold the fuel tanks, but if you can get the engine, you might disable the thing, at least slow it down enough so you can get accurate shots. And then of course you can just aim for the Amaraks in the right places to blow the thing up. So I hope you find that useful, and I certainly do. And thanks very much to Armour Inspector. I will leave a link down below in the description so you can actually go to the site yourself, and hopefully you'll find out more information about the vehicles that you're actually coming up against. But well done, Awppenheimer, fighting from the front. Made it very effective, actually. I don't think the others were willing to go up front, because of course once they've got a 279 in their team, they probably realised that you're almost impenetrable. Not quite, but close. And so you can be their front man and they can just pick off who's left afterwards. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.